have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 156 of the Scholars of Wrestling show. In case you haven't noticed yet, this is not Scholar Jeff. This is Scholar Tarek, alongside with me, Scholar Brian.
Hello.
Yes, Scholar Jeff is still not here. He's still sent wherever I sent him. Brian managed to come back, though. Good for you, Brian.
I made it back. There was a rough stretch, but I was able to weather the storm, and I'm back now.
Great. It's great to have you back. Yeah.
Is it really?
Sure.
I feel the enthusiasm.
If it helps you sleep at night, sure.
I feel the enthusiasm in the
I'm
room.
I'm joking. It's glad to have at least one of my co-hosts back. Because, I was trying to do my own little scholar shake-up last week. Okay. So, yeah. It's great to have you back, Brian.
Yeah.
Really great. Welcome back. I'm so happy for you.
And now it's nap time.
now it's nap time for you? Okay. It may be nap time for you, but for me, it is wrestling. More wrestling. Because why else would we be here to talk about some wrestling? And really, it's kind of a depressing wrestling. It's a nice little segue to peek behind that curtain and check in on a little
backstage news. Sad man.
Yeah, this is the only backstage news that we have this week, and it's very sad news with the passing of Matthew Anoy. But for some people, he's known as Rosie, or the former superhero in training Rosie, or a member of the 3-Minute Warning Rosie, and it's come to the realization that, oh my god, 3-Minute Warning has passed.
Yep.
And it is sad to hear. He was 47 years old, and he passed with heart failure.
Which, if you looked at the guy, you could see it.
It actually was kind of sad because I was hoping he makes some kind of special appearance for Roman Reigns in the near future. Kind of something similar to This Is Your Life Cena and how Mick Foley brought back Bull Buchanan for one night.
Why would you want a Roman Reigns?
No, it's not. I'm not saying
Yeah.
Make it a This Is Your Life Roman. It's just the fact that at some point he will come back and be maybe, how like John Cena's dad gets involved with storylines and all that. Like, let's throw a little scenario of him having a feud with Randy Orton, and Randy Orton decides to punt Rosie.
Huh.
That's the kind of thing I was hoping he would do in the future, because apparently he was still making contact, well, of course with Roman, but with people inside WWE. He was still on good terms with them when he left. It's such a sad story to hear. 47 years old.
47 years old, heart failure, probably almost definitely due to the weight issues.
And he had a similar heart situation back in 2014 when I read. And
so
it was understandable that after reading that why he stayed away from any kind of things wrestling, and he was working with family businesses and restaurants. Mm-hmm. From what I've read, it's such a sad thing to hear because he has more character than Roman.
Yeah,
and he was a shit hero.
yes, he was. Nice, bring that up, and now he can join Umaga or Jamal, if it were,
mm-hmm.
and
Eddie Fatu. Yes,
3-minute warning will be waiting for you when you reach the pearly gates.
You know what? That's actually a very nice way to put it. That's a very nice way to put it.
Did somebody say 3 minutes?
It's really sad. It really is sad to hear. Our condolences goes out to Roman and his family.
Yep. The noise haven't been doing too well recently, so it sucks. It's a shitty situation, and condolences go out to everyone. His friends, family, his fans.
Including us.
Yes.
Because even with the superhero in training, even 3 Minute Warning, I actually really liked him. I
love 3 Minute Warning. I thought the shit hero was a little silly, but
then when he actually became a superhero with the Hurricane and won the tag team titles, it was a very good moment for Rosie and the Hurricane. It made me very happy.
It was good TV.
It was good TV,
and Rosie played the part. And Rosie played the part well.
He really did, and
we'll miss you, big guy.
We definitely will. And we got 3 minutes. I would say we give a 3 minute silence, but we really don't have the time.
3 minutes and we're out of here.
The clock is ticking and we're in the clear. We got 3 minutes and we're out of here. We got 3 minutes and we're out. We're out.
And we are out.
It's weird to think. I just remembered. Rico was their manager at one point.
Yep.
Wow.
Before they went the Billy and Chuck route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it was after. It was after Billy and Chuck. Because when Billy and Chuck were doing the whole marriage scene.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
And then when they said, we're
Billy
not gay.
Billy and Chuck was 2002, right?
Yeah. It's like, we're not gay.
So 3 Minute Warning was 2003. All right.
Granted, if we were gay, I wouldn't marry Chuck. And because of that, and then he joined 3 Minute Warning and they attacked Billy and Chuck. Yes. Good memories. Oh, Billy and Chuck. 3 Minute Warning did us a favor that way.
Yes, they did.
All right.
That was the very moment I started cheering for 3 Minute Warning.
Hey, I've always liked 3 Minute Warning. Just two big Samoans doing nothing but kicking ass on the smaller talent.
And you always had Eric Bischoff. And it was... Did somebody say 3 minutes?
Who was in the match when they debuted? I remember Bischoff gave a one-on-one match. The people who was in it 3 minutes, and he was thinking, okay, they're just giving him a time. What happens at 3 minutes? And all of a sudden, two giant Samoans decided to destroy. Who was that? Who was it that they destroyed? Oh, I gotta look this up because it's gonna bother me. But all right, moving on to the rest of to Roman and his family. We're once again our condolences to you. All right, now it's time to get it back into. I guess we can call it the real world or the real universe. I guess with Raw versus Smackdown Live. Tick tick tickety dog. Break it. And I'm actually going to do something a little different with Raw versus SmackDown Live this week. It's going to be a little experiment where instead of us just simply talking about the segments as if we're just running down Raw and SmackDown, we're going to talk about the segments in separate and whether or not we liked it or didn't like it. We'll pro it, we'll con it, and we'll give our reasons why we like what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, and we'll see with the final verdict.
Before we get there, I have the match.
What was the match?
It was D'Lo Brown and Shawn Stasiak.
Really? That actually was not what I was expecting. Weird.
Yeah. The team was used to squash any activity in the ring that Bischoff deemed boring.
Well, yeah.
So when you put
anything with Shawn Stasiak,
when you put it in those terms, yeah, I could see D'Lo Brown and Shawn Stasiak be.
Well, Shawn Stasiak, yes. D'Lo Brown, not so much. That is actually a very random match. Okay.
Yeah.
I still can't get my head around that. I was actually expecting something else, like a couple of smaller guys. But moving on. Back to Raw versus SmackDown Live. Let's go ahead and go right into Raw, shall we?
Why not?
AKA the Braun Strowman Show, because really, that's who we're all coming to see now.
Good Lord. This man is amazing.
He really is. So I'm going to just basically look at Braun Strowman's run throughout this episode of Raw, from him standing toe-to-toe with Kurt Angle to destroying Golden Truth,
My favorite might be Kalisto in the trash bin.
Exactly. Destroying Kalisto and throwing him in the garbage, and it all capped off with his one-on-one match with the Big Show. And before I even say what happens, I will point out, I was watching Raw as I normally do, and I'm just looking and I'm like, you know what? Something's very different about this episode of Raw. They don't have the lead turnbuckles or the lead apron. They're doing the old school apron and the old school turnbuckles.
That should have been the first clue.
It's like,
and then when they made the match of Braun Strowman and the Big Show, that should have been the second clue. But I did not get it until until they set up. And I was like, oh, God.
And then it was another fun match between Braun Strowman and the Big Show. These two guys actually do know how to work with each other, which isn't a surprise for me, since it was the Big Show who's actually been training Braun Strowman.
I never would have expected the caliber of big man matches that we've been getting for the last year, since last WrestleMania. Before last WrestleMania, if you would have told me that one of my favorite matches of the year would be Braun Strowman versus Big Show, I would have slapped you.
Which one or two?
Either or.
Okay, I get, yeah.
That's it.
But yeah,
Braun Strowman with the kip up. What?
Braun Strowman's just nothing but phenomenal. And of course, the big exclamation point to close out this match, pulling a old school Brock Lesnar Big Show moment. Braun Strowman superplexes the Big Show off the turnbuckle, and next thing you know, the ring collapses for a third time in recent memory.
So in conclusion, okay, he stood toe to toe with the Big Show. Okay, destroyed Golden Truth, destroyed Kalisto, destroyed Big Show, destroyed the ring, possibly killed the referee. That's it.
I believe his name is John Coleman.
Because he fell out of the ring and was never to be seen again.
So when it comes to Braun Strowman, do you? I guess this is kind of a stupid question. Do you pro it or do you con it?
Definitely a pro. The only con at this point is that we know that he's being built up to once again take a fall for Roman Reigns.
I honestly wouldn't be that far ahead.
In the ride leading up to it so far is amazing. Just like, you want to make a guy this is the best making a monster that the WWE has done in a long time.
I'm gonna pro it as well. From what I've been reading, that people are just like annoyed with the whole ring collapsing. They think it's just an overdone angle. Like I said, this is the third time this has happened. The only other time it's happened was Big Show and Mark Henry.
Big Show Mark Henry and Big Show Brock Lesnar.
They've had several years apart between each segment, and really, I actually kind of find it hilarious that the first time they had their match, they actually had to strengthen the ring. They made it perfectly clear. Well, apparently they forgot to do it this time, and you see the ring collapse. Stupid crew.
They made it perfectly clear the first time that they had to strengthen the ring. They made it perfectly clear the second time that the ring was going to collapse.
I actually do like it when the ring collapses. Granted, I wish they kind of did a different move with it. I would have liked to see, that Braun Strowman like power slam. I would have liked to have seen him do that, where Big Show's climbing the top rope to hit a move, whatever he's trying to do. Braun just simply hits him, and then you just see him turn around and grab Big Show as if you're setting him up for that power slam. And while he's still on the rope, they jump. Big Show does a flip similar to how he does a suplex, and then have that one collapse the ring.
I feel
it still would have had the ring collapse, but it was something different.
I feel like they go to the superplex as a go-to move because it's the quickest it's the quickest move to deliver. Maybe not set up, but it's like for the power slam, you'd want Braun Strowman to hold him in that power slam. You wouldn't want.
It didn't matter if he held him up or anything.
But it's one of those.
It's just one of those things where Big Show can do a front flip like how he does with a suplex. Braun doesn't have to hold on to Big Show. It could just be a 1, 2, 3, go, simple slam.
Yeah, I'm not debating whether they should use something different. I'm just saying why they have the superplex as a go-to. It's the easiest and quickest move to set up and deliver that will cause that kind of damage. That's it. And they've done it 3 times. And you know the WWE, they go back to the well. They don't try new things. They go back to what works. And what has worked in that particular angle. The superplex. So as soon as the Big Show was up on that rope, I'm like, superplex.
And I just love that. I just love that. After the superplex, Braun pretty much got right back up.
Did his Braun.
Seriously, Braun Strowman is being booked,
and the crowd
perfectly.
Went ape shit. Okay,
it's so funny. You're expecting to have Braun be this super monster heel, which they want him. From what it's looking like, he's the top heel of the Raw brand, besides Brock Lesnar.
The only problem is he's going after the guy that the crowd hates the most.
Not even just there's that, but not only that. He's awesome both on as he's simple on the mic. He just says what he wants and he goes through with it, and he destroys. That's the biggest thing with Braun Strowman. He's both a simple character and a real complex character because he's just so big and monstrous. He has no remorse, and that's just being booked to perfection. And people like simple monster-like characters. That's why he's so popular.
Yeah.
And that's why he's so popular with me.
It's one of those things, once again, where if you told me 2 years ago that one of the reasons that I would tune in to wrestling each week was to see who Braun Strowman would destroy next, I would have slapped you. Because he was nothing 2 years ago. He was a simple case of blood up too soon 2 years ago. But this is an example of when you build up somebody the right way. Okay, because now he's one of the best in the company.
He really is. He's a load of fun. He's really bringing some joy to Raw that Raw desperately needs. All right, moving on with Braun Strowman. I think we've praised him long enough. Let's go to, in my opinion, the big segment with Miz TV with special guest Dean Ambrose, where it was pretty much nothing more than The Miz venting out, from what I've actually been hearing, the most company officials' frustration with Dean Ambrose, that he's been kind of lazy and that he's not really representing the company the best way that Dean Ambrose should. And with Dean Ambrose coming back, he's like, I'm Dean Ambrose. I don't care what other people think. I am who I am. And to my enjoyment, he finally acknowledges this. He's the Intercontinental Champion. I actually do like that now they're bringing in the Intercontinental Championship to this feud that they're rebuilding.
Now, this is a middle of the road for me. There's pros and there's cons to this. The actual story that they're building, I like it. I do. Because it seems like it's a go-to with Dean Ambrose. Okay, first of all, his face character, the Lunatic Fringe, it's run out. It's run out of steam. Okay? In the coming months, what they need to do is we need to get the heel version of the Lunatic Fringe. We need to get we need to get the guy who's no longer doing it for the people's enjoyment. He's actually going full lunatic on people, like taking chairs, ramming knees, doing that, taking out Seth Rollins' knee with a chair over and over and over again. I feel like we need the heel version of the Lunatic Fringe in the coming months. Okay. However, for right now, okay, I like the way that The Miz came at him, and I like the way that Dean Ambrose came back. I don't care about movies. I don't care. I am not a brand. I am Dean Ambrose. I am the Intercontinental Champion. This is what I do.
Even though technically he is a brand. Technically,
I just like
I like what he's saying. I like where he's going. But in all honesty,
every character in the WWE
is a brand. Yeah,
but if you're going,
it's a flaw.
But they're playing it. They're playing it up like they're not characters.
I know.
They're the real.
I know,
so
but
it's like okay,
it's just a good giggle. It's like, I'm not a brand. I'm like, yes, you are. With all the Dean Ambrose merchandise, you're a brand.
Yeah, Mr. Top 10 money getter in the company. But and then goes full wackadoo Dean Ambrose and goes after the Miz, who Maurice saves again. So it's like, that's cool. My only con with this is, okay, they did this on SmackDown and they bought people. They switched shows to supposedly get new stories, new opponents, that kind of deal. Okay. And with Dean Ambrose and The Miz, they automatically go back to a feud with each other for the Intercontinental title. Which, okay, whatever. But it defeats the purpose of switching shows to get new feuds and opponents. You would think that they'd do that right away, but oh well. That's my only con with this segment. But the actual story that they're building going forward here is a pro, and the execution of this segment was great.
A part of me I do like the segment, and I actually do agree with you 100%. I like where they're building with the story. It's like you said, they've done it on SmackDown. They're not going to neither character is going to change anything with this feud. The only thing that may change is just the title changing hands on maybe once or twice between the two.
Yeah, and
I feel like the story needs to evolve, or at least the characters need to evolve in this story, because yeah, it's like you said, they did the exact same thing on SmackDown. I feel like I hope that with The Miz calling out Dean Ambrose on being lazy and not being what the champion should be, I guess, because they even point out you were on the pre-show, so they're saying like you're kind of losing value, and I hope this kind of wakes up kind of something. I wouldn't say go as a full-fledged heel, but a darker. Take no more goofy Dean Ambrose. It's something similar to the whole suffering succotash with Roman Reigns.
My thing though with the WWE, okay, is whenever they do that, okay, whenever they change from the comedic to the serious, okay, whenever they go darker, okay, they turn the person. Whether it's comedic lunatic fringe is the face version of Dean Ambrose. Okay, the darker lunatic fringe, I guarantee you, it's not gonna come as a face.
He did it with Dolph Ziggler for their build for SummerSlam. He wasn't jokey. He was dead serious. He was at that time the champion that takes no shit. It's like, you're not fighting in my league. You're not even worth it. I feel like
and then they immediately turned.
And then they shut it down immediately after SummerSlam, and I felt like it was something that I was intrigued with. I told you and Jeff about it. I was intrigued with what they were doing because it was somewhat of an evolution at the time for both characters. But now they went back to square one with it. Thank you very much, WWE.
Yeah, and them shutting it down.
So I'm actually gonna
that they didn't like it.
I'm actually gonna con it, just because as of right now, I'm just gonna con it because I'm still intrigued, but I want something. I want something new with it.
My main problem is that I'm done with The Miz as an Intercontinental title contender.
He's trying to top. He's going to top Chris Jericho. That's his. I think he's like, because I believe if he wins the title, that'll be number 7.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you had a great year. Okay, yeah, go move on to higher. Well, I don't want to say higher card feuds because then you'll get pissed. But that's it. Because you're like, an Intercontinental title feud's not good enough. No,
wait. Because you said that, I'm going to say, I don't like where the Intercontinental Championship is right now. You know how much I love that title. I love all it represents. But right now, even when they were put it on the pre-show, they don't give a shit about it, and it's not at a good spot right now. And it really legit pisses me off that it wasn't in it. I feel like they could have just kept it on The Miz so he can have a longer title reign, because he was actually doing something with the thing. He was actually building prestige on both him and the title.
But no, they had to feed The Miz to John Cena at WrestleMania, and you can't do that to the Intercontinental title. So that's it. They took it off.
It's so frustrating.
The frustration with me is, once again, Baron Corbin should be Intercontinental title. Should be Intercontinental champion.
Well, now that it's on Raw, okay. I want Cesaro to be Intercontinental champion.
God damn it.
That's my pipe dream, and I'm going to use that to segue into the next segment, which was going into the tag team titles.
Tarek's wet dream.
That's my Cloud 9, dude. That is my Cloud 9. Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro. I'm going to pro this on every shape or form. This match reminded me that Jeff Hardy actually does well singles wise, and that he did deserve to be in the title reign, and his match with Undertaker all those years ago.
And they're going to, and the rumor is that Jeff Hardy is going to get a singles push at some point based on this match.
This was
based on the match that he had with Cesaro.
Him and Cesaro worked great with each other.
Oh yeah.
And imagine if that match was for the Intercontinental Championship. Don't shake your head. Really think about it.
If they got more than, how long was it? Like 10 minutes?
About it was the length of a Raw match.
If they get a good amount of time, that can be a great Intercontinental title match.
Seriously, yes. Those two would have, because I loved every second of this. Not just because it's my boy Cesaro. Granted, it made me sad that he lost. But it was
Jeff Hardy was never going to lose. That's it.
Although they did that bullshit again, where he tweaked his knee at that end. Yeah. They gotta stop that shit. It's not cool anymore.
Like, it's Jeff Hardy. Okay, why does he need a caveat to beat Cesaro? Okay. I'm like,
hey man, don't talk down. No, Cesaro
I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
You brought that upon yourself.
Put your boner down.
Never.
That's it.
Never. But he is my man.
I'm saying, okay. Cesaro can beat Jeff Hardy easily. Yeah, but Jeff Hardy can beat Cesaro. So it's like, why do you need the caveat?
For either man.
The only reason Jeff Hardy beat Cesaro was because he tweaked the knee.
I hate that.
I'm like,
they didn't even acknowledge it. They just
it's.
Well, yeah, they did actually.
Yeah, I'm like, it's Jeff Hardy.
These two guys don't need anything. It could just be a simple match, and they shook hands at the end. Both Cesaro, Sheamus shook the Hardys' hands. I can't wait for their tag title match at Payback. I hope neither team turns heel. Neither team they don't need it.
No, it. Remember when we said remember when you thought that the Cesaro and Sheamus tag team would never work?
I'm actually very glad to be proven wrong. I will say that right now. I'm very glad to be proven wrong.
And I'm glad that it's got Sheamus back to where he was before the League of Nations completely killed him.
League of Nations had so much potential.
Now that put shit with Cesaro, he'll make it gold. That's it.
Yes, he can.
That's it.
But yeah, I'm gonna pro this to the moon.
No doubt, pro.
All right, moving on. We got the women's number one contender match. I just know, there's a lot of number one contender matches when it comes to this week in WWE. Alexa Bliss becoming the number one contender against Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, and Mickie James after Nia actually landed her finishing maneuver and Alexa took advantage of the situation and got the 1, 2, 3.
Of course. The ultimate opportunist. Female edition. That's it. And it makes me happy because
Bayley versus Alexa Bliss is going to be great.
Yes, and it's like I'm kind of done with Sasha Banks right now being in the title with the title picture. So it's like, okay, she's not in. Nia Jax, and Mickie James was brought back to be an enhancement talent, so this was never going to be a title run for her in the cards. So
although I do want to see some actual good storyline with her.
And now I have something to look forward to on both shows for the females. Alexa Bliss on Raw, Becky on SmackDown.
So you're proing this?
I'm proing the result.
The match?
The match was meh. But I like the result and the feud that hopefully follows.
I don't usually like the whole, like, someone else landing the finishing move. I like that evil, cheap victory as long as they don't pull another bullshit title win for Alexa Bliss, like how she won her first women's championship on the SmackDown side, at least. But I do like that she pulled that ultimate opportunist, like, oh, someone did the move, I'll take advantage of the situation.
If it fits for
the match, the match was okay. Nothing memorable, but I'm very happy with Alexa Bliss winning.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that, and with that ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, normally you're not a fan of it. If it fits the character, if it fits what that character's MO is,
mm-hmm.
if it fits, then I'm okay with it. If it's random out of nowhere, like a face does it, like a good guy does it, it doesn't fit with his character, whatever. I'm like, that's when I don't like it. But if it fits the character and the ambitions and machinations of the characters, then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Good show.
Like I said, as long as she actually does win the title, like earning it,
yeah.
Then I won't be as upset with it as I am now about it.
But I honestly don't think she's gonna win the title. So,
at least not now.
So just give us a good build up and a good match at the next pay-per-view, and we'll see how it goes. But as of right now, I like the result.
Okay. I like the result as well. Well, that's all that really needs to be said with Raw. Let's go ahead and...
Raw was actually pretty good this week.
It actually was... Well, it's Braun. It was the Braun Strowman show.
But even the extracurricular stuff that wasn't Braun, I was like, most of it, I didn't... And let me just throw this out there, okay? The Chris Jericho interview segment backstage when the Drifter came through, and I was like,
I'm sorry. Great. The Drifter is very hilarious. I like.
And Jericho's reaction and
wasn't he also playing guitar with Gallows and Anderson walking by?
Yeah, except he was actually singing
No, he wasn't. He was just playing the guitar and just looking at them, giving them was like, "What's up?" But yeah, minus the whole Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson, because that match, it's like that just happened.
Enzo got killed. I enjoy that. So that's
Enzo got killed, and it was a very weird pin because I looked like he was supposed to kick out, but they hit the 3 anyway. Or it was very confusing.
And Enzo and Cass have hit the club levels of last year.
They're at the club level now.
No, I'm saying that. No, I'm saying that Enzo and Cass right now, to me, are the club of last year. Okay, every time we think they're going to win, they lose. So, it's like, I do not care. I do not care.
I don't care about either of them. The club or Enzo and Cass right now.
Because
they're just at the
WWE have screwed up both these teams so badly.
Oh my God, yes.
That when they came in, expectations were high. We thought big things were coming for both of these teams, and now I could give a shit less.
But yeah, all in all, it was a good Raw.
Yeah,
it was a generally good Raw.
I enjoyed it. Right. I don't say that often, but I enjoyed Raw.
And now let's talk about SmackDown Live. Granted, there is the one thing that we have to talk about, yes. But I'm going to save that till the final point of the show.
Yes.
Because there is a lot to say about that one, both good and bad. Probably more bad than good, though. But since we were talking about the women's division to close out Raw, before we went on our little tirade there about Enzo and Cass and the club, we were talking about the women's division. Or in this case, Charlotte slowly taking over the SmackDown women's division. First, opening Raw with her saying, "Why don't I have my title match?" Or, "How come I don't have my title match yet?" Naomi comes out and saying, "Okay, I'm going to prove myself that I'm a fighting champion. You want a title match? I'm going to give you a title match." Shane McMahon comes in and says, "Okay, you'll get your title match if you beat Naomi tonight." And they have this whole thing with Natalya, Tamina Snuka, and Carmella and that piece of shit James Ellsworth saying, "Oh, she doesn't deserve to have a title match." And apparently they're all standing up to be against Charlotte. But now leading to the match, Naomi and Charlotte, they had a pretty good match.
Yeah.
It was pretty deep. Although there was one spot where I feel like Charlotte kind of stiffed Naomi when Naomi was trying to do that one bulldog. Or trying to catch Charlotte's head. Naomi had Charlotte's head. I actually looked at this twice. She actually had Charlotte's head, but Charlotte actually threw her head back, so Naomi lost her grip, and the move all in all looked sloppy. So I was like, wow, is that kind of a stiff move there? That's not cool, Charlotte. Not cool. And of course, Charlotte getting the natural selection and a victory, and now she's number 1 contender, which instead of getting the match at Backlash, she's getting her match next week.
Which is a little
awkward. And it also makes you kind of think. And this is something I'll even point out actually in the next segment. Well, as for the Charlotte storyline versus the SmackDown Women's Division, do you pro or con it?
I like the idea of it. I don't like who they had. I don't like Carmella being a part of it. I mean, but I like the idea behind it. Okay. The idea that the new chick on the block who has come from the other side, dominates the other side, comes in, expects to be given stuff right away. And the other women of the division standing up and saying, "No, we've been here longer. We deserve it more than you." I like the idea of it. It's just the actresses, the Carmella, Natalia's a lost cause at this point.
Although I gotta be fair here. I do gotta be fair. I wanted to write down what she said, but Carmella, when she was first complaining to Shane McMahon, she did her own rendition of the limousine riding, high profile Ric Flair. She did her own version, which is more of an insult to Charlotte. And I'm just like, you know what? I actually liked it. I liked what she said because she actually did it in a flowing fashion. It's just, I just wish it hadn't been from Carmella because I can't stand her or James Ellsworth. And it just leads to the one question that I've actually that I've noticed from this episode of SmackDown in general. Does it feel like the Raw side is like all the people who came from Raw are pretty much kind of undermining the talent of SmackDown?
I kind of feel like that's gonna be the story. Like the people from Raw coming in, like they were the quote unquote A show, and they were top dogs of the A show. At least the Kevin Owens and Charlotte, they were top dogs, and they come in expect to be handed everything. It undermine the rosters, and
but what,
I could see rising up potential.
But does it feel like it's not even just Kevin Owens and Charlotte? I feel like even, I guess I'll use this to I'm gonna pro Charlotte taking over.
Yes,
because I like Charlotte, but I will give my concern where, like, because Raw is their A show, that it undermines the talent of SmackDown, which, look at the Shining Stars or the Colognes. This is our segue to the next segment. They were a jobber tag team on Raw. Yet when they show up on SmackDown, they take down one of the top SmackDown tag teams in American Alpha in a 3-minute match.
Yeah. Now, admittedly, it was due to dirty tactics.
But it's still the fact that
and the match itself was kind of meh.
Oh, I'm going to con it.
I'm definitely conning it.
I'm conning that because
I'm definitely conning it. But that was sloppy as hell in that ending. It was like even the crowd didn't believe it.
The crowd didn't care. They went silent.
Yeah, no. But once again, you did not build up this tag team properly on the other show to make anyone give a shit about them on this show, and the fact that they just beat
the former tag team
champions pretty easily, mind you, makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay, the one argument is like, yeah, they're the Colognes. They're former tag team champions. They actually are a legit stable. But for the past but since they were on Raw as the Shining Stars, they were nothing more than jobbers. They were trying to sell timeshares for Puerto Rico, and all of a sudden they come in and completely dominate pretty much one of the greatest tag teams that they have right now in American Alpha.
The only way this makes sense at all is if they're setting up a feud.
They're obviously doing that. I just feel like it's like. I felt like the match needed to go a little longer.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Because I actually looked at SmackDown again. I'm like, is there anything that could have been cut to give them more time? And yes, there was.
A lot.
Well, one thing in particular. They had a segment where they had Ty Dillinger try and explain who he is, but instead he did it as a video package. They could have cut that out. Everyone knows who Ty Dillinger is. Ty Dillinger didn't need to be on that show. I love Ty Dillinger. I love the Perfect 10. He didn't need to be there.
But I also I saw what the WWE did there. They did the same thing with Shinsuke Nakamura. They just did video packages to introduce the new characters more fully to the casuals.
Well, but
I understand. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying I understand the idea that they were going for with.
Oh, I understand the idea too. But the difference between Nakamura and Ty Dillinger is when you look at either packages, Nakamura actually they showed pretty much his entire NXT run against top guys. When it comes to Ty Dillinger's video package, all they had was Royal Rumble. Was him showing up at the Royal Rumble and maybe a couple of clips of him fighting Kurt Hawkins. That's it. They didn't show anything when he was in NXT. They didn't show anything more than that. They pretty much just showed his appearance as number 10 in the Royal Rumble. That's why I said they could have cut that whole segment out. Ty Dillinger didn't need to be on SmackDown this week because he's just there to promote himself. We don't need that. They could have given that time to Alpha and Cologne and actually put on a good match. When they actually did that dirty victory, it wouldn't be so bad because these two actual legit teams can actually go at it.
But my question is, okay, does anyone in that crowd give a shit enough about the Colognes to actually get into the match? Because American Alpha and the Usos, okay, they always started out, the crowd was pretty silent, whatever. It seemed like they didn't care. Okay, then they got in, then the match got going. They got about 7 minutes in, the crowd starts perking up and starts. And
the match was only 3 minutes.
No, I'm saying, does anyone give a crap about the Colognes enough to get into a match? If it's given the time of American Alpha versus the Usos, I'm not convinced because of the way that they were used on Raw.
I will say this: people have been saying this on the internet, and I'm actually going to join them. The Colognes need a mouthpiece.
Carlito.
Exactly. They need Carlito, even if he doesn't wrestle and he's just the mouthpiece. He needs to. They need a mouthpiece to actually establish themselves. They can't be by themselves.
Does he come back with the "that's cool"? The
Colognes
are gonna be tag team champions,
and that is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it actually does. It actually does work. And American Alpha, all they need is themselves, pretty much. It's the American Alpha. Need I say more?
They don't need to talk. They probably shouldn't talk.
So when it comes to this, okay.
It's a
do
con.
Something.
It happens.
It's a big con. I hated it. I was like, not even the crowd didn't help because they were dead silent, but they need something to. The Colognes need something to basically pump an adrenaline, and I feel like that's a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna adjust, add these two together because it's generally one segment, and that is first. The Kevin Owens Face of America Open Challenge against none other Gary Gandy. Oh my God! I love Gary Gandy. First, when Kevin Owens introduces himself, he tells the announcer to pretty much fuck off. That's my one. He's like the Face of America from Canada, Kevin Owens, and he pulls the mic. Who are you? I am Gary Gandy. And then Kevin Owens is like, okay. Gandy grabs Owens' hand from Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you, Gary. I'm like, that is actually something really funny. And then I'm just like, I like you, Gary. He even got a Gandy chant.
I like you, Gary. You're about to die, though.
There was a Gandy. I was like, wow, that's so much fun. And then he got destroyed and almost died from messing up the pop-up powerbomb.
Almost died because he jumped like a moron into the pop-up powerbomb. But it's like,
Owens did well to catch him.
Owens did well to catch him, and I'm pretty sure he was legit pissed. I don't think that walk over his stomach, I think that was ad-libbed. I think
I wouldn't
that
be
was
surprised.
I think that was you son of a bitch. That's it. With that, but yeah, that's good jobber right there.
That was a good jobber, and I hope he got paid really well for that match. And now I'm gonna add this in the fact that Kevin Owens stayed for color commentary when he went to watch AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. Good match.
Let me say this, okay? You want to build up somebody and not have them hurt by taking a loss? This is how you do it. Okay. Didn't take a pin. Baron Corbin didn't take a pin. Okay. Got knocked out on the outside. AJ Styles just barely had enough time to roll back into the ring. I'm like, count out victory?
I'll accept it.
I'll accept it. Baron Corbin loses to AJ Styles because why not? AJ Styles. But you still keep him strong in defeat by he wasn't pinned, he didn't tap out.
I do like it. I'm actually gonna pro it.
And
the entire from Kevin Owens Face of America Open Challenge to the match of Aaron Styles, AJ Styles. I mixed AJ and Baron together. Aaron Styles,
BJ Corbin.
That is so terrible. AJ Styles and Baron Corbin.
I liked it. Yeah,
I do like it. It actually adds more dimension to the future United States Championship feud that for AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, and it continues adding the build-up for Baron Corbin as to become a top heel on the SmackDown brand, which, really looking at it, there's only, I guess now, 3 top heels.
Damn it.
From number one, Kevin Owens, number 2, Baron Corbin, and now this is the number 3. In the biggest WTF moment to come out of WWE period, the 6-pack challenge for the number 1 contendership to fight whoever the champion is between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt at Backlash.
And the winner
is, due to help from the Singh brothers, formerly known as Bollywood Brothers, Jinder Mahal.
I feel like they're trying to do Muhammad Hassan all over again.
Oh, that's exactly what they're doing. But here's the thing. Okay. Just before we get into this, I just want to know, do you pro it or do you con it?
I really want to con it. I really do.
But is there a button?
But
there? Wow,
I'm also kind of interested. I'm also kind of interested in where they're going with it. But I'm like, should it be for a title first shot? Fuck no. But I mean, like, you didn't even build up the character. I'm like, this came out of nowhere. That's it. I'm like, two weeks ago he was jobbing to Finn Balor in 3 minutes on Raw. And now he's the number 1 contender for the WWE World Championship. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the Colognes.
With the Raw jobber becoming number 1 contender for the SmackDown title.
He's going up against, it's gotta be Randy Orton. But you just get, I get, hey, steroids make you a number 1 contender, right? That's it.
You pretty much. There are certain points in your little rant there, or I can't say rant. You trying to find your words because you were just complete. You were probably just as shocked as I was. I was watching SmackDown. I'm just like, wait, what is? No way. Is Jinder real? They really giving this to Jinder? 1, 2, 3. What?
But let
Jinder won.
But let me tell you, okay, that promo afterwards was not bad. I'm like, there is storyline potential here. It's just the fuck. That's it.
I know I'm going to point out each pin because I was thinking about this one all week, or at least from yesterday and today. And even after SmackDown, I was just like, this does not make any lick of sense to me. Because you even said it yourself. Well, it wasn't 2 weeks ago. It was last week. Last week.
It was 2 weeks ago.
The Superstar Shakeup was last week.
I know, but he
concussed him on the Superstar Shakeup. His match with Finn Balor was on Raw, and he concussed and that's where he concussed Finn Balor, and he lost a 3-minute match to Finn Balor, and then he shows up the next night on SmackDown, being Mojo Rawley's bitch again, and what's his name, Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski.
Again, he was made to look like a bitch.
And
then the next week happens. He wins the #1 contendership for the WWE Championship.
Huh?
I understand. Now, I guess I'm going to step on my little soapbox here because I got a lot to say about this. Because first off, from
story time with Tarek.
First, I just said it now. That he was ever since he came back to WWE, he's been the only real one-on-one match that he won was against Heath Slater to win his job back on Raw. When it comes to one-on-one, after that he hasn't won a single match, and he came in August last year, and he hasn't won any singles matches after that. And now, the only matches he has won is when he was teamed up with Rusev. And one was a handicap match, and one was a multi-man, and that was just because Braun Strowman was with them. I understand where they're going for here, because they just now made a marketing deal with India, and they want an Indian superstar, even though he's from Canada. Jinder is from Canada. Go figure. Like I said, I understand where they're going for with the Indian market. The one problem, and you said it, is that it was too abrupt. It was completely out of nowhere. We had no time to build up Jinder Mahal, where he at one point can be like, yeah, he's going for the WWE Championship. I can see that.
Like, this was the first time we've known about his association with the Bollywood boys or the Singh brothers. It's the first time we see them.
Yeah, not even just he won the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. He's the head of a stable now.
Now he's got a posse. What?
What is going everything? And people are so mind blown. I've read so many responses. I've listened to so many other podcasts, from Brian Alvarez to Dave Meltzer to Jim Ross. They were it's completely caught off guard, and they're just like it's the biggest complaint that everyone's been saying. It's too soon. But I will admit, I am intrigued, because Backlash is a month away, maybe even more. I think a month and a half, the latest. They got a lot of work to do to build up Jinder Mahal.
I want to see,
and I can't wait to see what they're gonna do. Granted, I actually saw a little bit of Talking Smack, and I guess you can just see Talking Smack is non-scripted, because he didn't do very well. I guess the man does need a script, because it wasn't very good. But you liked the promo he had after his win?
I said it was simple. It was to the point.
I do definitely see I feel a Muhammad Hassan with this, and that also kind of makes me nervous, because Muhammad Hassan was supposed to win the championship before the England attacks. He's not winning the title. Don't worry. That's not what I was hinting. That's not what I was implying. I'm just saying that he
too far, sir.
Too far. Yeah, it is.
I'm fine with him getting a shot. If he gets the title, we're having words.
If he gets the title, yeah, there's a lot to say about that shit. Wow.
I'm willing to see where this goes, but if it ends with a Jinder Mahal title run,
It has to be the best month and a half build up to convince us that he deserves that title. Because what the hell? I also heard that spot was meant for Rusev, which makes more sense because, Rusev's actually had a successful run in WWE with the United States Championship. But, oh my Lord, I have no words to describe the complete and utter confusion I have with this whole situation.
I watched it, and I was exactly like I was trying to find the words to speak tonight. I was watching. My mouth was open. What did I just see?
What's going on?
I wasn't even it didn't even process to me that Jinder Mahal was the number one contender. The first thing I thought was, Jinder Mahal has a posse?
See, and then, I understand giving him a posse and making him a legit contender, because they even said it. It's SmackDown. It's the land of opportunity.
But don't make him everyone's bitch beforehand.
But don't just throw him into the title picture when he had no reason. When he's only won 3 matches since August.
Yep.
August. Why not just
8 months?
Why not for the time being give it to either Luke Harper or Sami Zayn? 2 guys who have actually established themselves as people who can go for the title.
Because then they'd have to give the title for Bray Wyatt.
Not necessarily. Seriously, not necessarily.
They're not turning Randy Orton heel. If he hasn't turned heel at this point.
At this point, when it comes to Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, they're not heel or face right now. It's Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. That's it right now. That's how I looked at this feud going on this past week. Because I don't see any heel, I don't see any face. I just see Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Granted, I actually do like that. And it's kind of disappointing that it's all for nothing, because as much as I want Bray Wyatt to win and actually go back to SmackDown,
we all know
it's not going to happen.
We all know now who's going to win that match. Now that Jinder, you're not going to have Bray Wyatt go back to SmackDown to feud with Jinder when he's already got something set up with Finn Balor on Raw.
I wouldn't say it's set up. I just say that it's like, oh yeah, it could happen.
I think
I don't see it as a setup. I just see it as like, oh yeah, you're here. Well, guess what? I'm here too. I guess
because I'll be watching.
I guess we can't hinder Jinder anymore.
You never could, apparently.
And yeah, apparently the steroids gets Vince McMahon hard. And we'll end it on that one. And now for the big decision, which show was better, Raw or SmackDown?
It's easy for me this week. Raw was so much better.
I will say, SmackDown definitely has a lot to talk about, considering what the hell is going on.
SmackDown has more to talk about, but Raw was the more enjoyable show.
Agreed.
This week.
So I'm actually not, like, I kind of want to say it's a 50-50 for me, because as much as I got a lot to talk about with Jinder Mahal winning the damn match, which the 6-pack challenge itself was awesome.
Yeah,
it was a great match, minus Mojo Rawley, because he did jack shit in that match. I'm sorry, there's nothing Mojo can do to get me on his side. He's a piece of shit, just like he's James Ellsworth for me. He's on that level.
Oh, jeez.
And if Jeff were here, he probably would be disagreeing with me and trying to convince me otherwise, or he'd just be kind of rubbing it in that Jinder won that Mojo won the goddamn Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and I called it. Son of a bitch.
You did. Watch, Mojo's gonna win the Battle Royal. Mojo wins the Battle Royal. I wanted to text you. It was like, want to eat your fucking words, man.
Oh my god! I even went back to that episode and listened. I'm like, oh my god, I really did say that. Jesus.
When you speak it into the world will make it happen.
Apparently so. But I will say I liked both shows equally. I'm not gonna pick which one was better because I will they have things. It got different emotions out of me.
Yeah.
And in a way, it actually is a good thing. Like, with how much it's gotten me invested in what's going to go on next week. But
because now we have to tune in. How the fuck are they going to explain
how are they
this?
going to do this?
How is this going to work?
Oh, man. This is going to be one interesting month, at least on the SmackDown side.
Yeah.
And for the next couple weeks, or maybe... Is Payback next weekend?
Yes.
Holy shit, we have the prediction show next week. Oh shit. Well, this is going to be a very interesting Raw too, at least for the go-home show. And that's what we think. But now we want to know what you all think. What are your thoughts on Braun Strowman completely taking over Raw instead of making it the Braun Strowman show? What the hell is your response to Jinder Mahal winning the #1 contendership for the WWE Championship? That is such a weird thing to say, isn't it? God damn. Well, be sure to leave a comment below on our video. If you like what you hear, be sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to follow us on our Facebook page, The Scholars of Wrestling Show, and be sure to follow us on our Twitter machines at The Scholars OW. You can find me at The Avataric, and you can find Brian at
Atomic Beanpole.
And you can find Scholar Jeff at I Am Robbie Rage.
One word.
There you go. I actually wasn't going to do that. I was like, follow Jeff at I Am Robbie Rage.
As soon as you shook your head, I was like
nope.
Nope. One word.
Nope, I'm not. It's like, God damn it. Now he should just now add that to his Twitter name. I Am Robbie Rage, all one word, and it's just the number. It's the #1.
Yes.
Because now that would actually make more sense because we for some reason keep adding that to his Twitter name. Who knows why? And we want to thank you all for listening in. You know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. Where the hell are you, Brian?
I'm taking a nap.
Now I wish I can bring that Scholar shake-up back. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.